Days at the Cinema is back, and tell it's daytime because...
Wait.
Yeah, we... Okay, so... This is a day later because we went to see the Age of Ultron premiere. Fucking awesome. Go see it. And review.
I mean, how could you not see it? It's the follow-up to the biggest superhero movie ever.
Of all time. So, okay, we're just going to say this right now. If you don't like spoilers, if you don't want to hear so much information, stop the video here, go watch the movie, and then come watch us rant about this movie.
Full spoilers below.
Full spoilers. All right. We'll give you about 5 seconds, and I count by fives. 5. Okay, let's do this. All right. The plot of this movie. Okay, what don't you know about this plot? The Avengers are all teamed up. They're all getting along together, and then Ultron comes about. Starts fucking shit up. Oh, language.
Yeah, I mean, he's a sentient robot made by Tony Stark.
And Bruce Banner, apparently.
Yeah, and he goes crazy and tries to take over the world and, well, more like destroy it.
Destroy the world, destroy humanity, pretty much. So, where to begin? Okay, I guess I can start. The first scene of this movie is full-on action. Oh my god. I was smiling so much in this movie. I cannot think of a time where I wasn't smiling.
Yeah, it was a solid scene to start out with, being, balls deep in action.
Attacking the last Hydra base with Baron von Strucker.
And, I actually wasn't that crazy about this scene because even though it kind of showcases the fact that the Avengers, they're kind of like a well-oiled machine now, I don't know. I feel like I would have liked it better if there was a little bit of setup to it. Like if they were at the base and said, okay, here's your mission, we got to take them out. Then they like airdrop in or something and then start the action. But it was very, it started out, crazy.
I can see that point. But one thing I did like about the scene was the camaraderie. I liked all the characters' chemistry together.
Yes. Good chemistry, for sure.
Iron Man. What can I say? It's Robert Downey Jr. playing himself. I swear to God. And Captain America and Thor are great, especially when they do this one scene where Thor has his hammer and he hits it on Captain America's shield and it just sends... Remember that big explosion from the first movie when that happened? That pretty much happened again, but it was with their enemies, so... Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty great shot.
And we got Hawkeye. He's back.
Oh my gosh. Hawkeye.
Oh god.
This movie does Hawkeye right.
We will talk about that later. And of course we have Scarlet. Oh wait. Sorry. Black Widow. Black Widow. I'm sorry. Okay. Black Widow and Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Which
freaky.
We'll get to that.
Hide the zucchini.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. So okay. Oh god, one of the things I liked about this movie was that every single action scene in it was extremely well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can pick apart this movie all you want, but you can not deny that the action scenes are amazing.
Yeah.
And okay, another thing is we got to see Avengers Tower finally.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see the Quinjet. That was awesome. And the party scene.
Oh, yes, with War Machine Don Cheadle's heroic story. That was great. I love that part.
His heroic story is he dropped a tank on this one base or something like that, and he said, "Bam!" or something like that.
Something like that.
He's telling this story to Iron Man and Thor, and they're just like, and?
Yeah, they didn't really think much of it. And then he goes and tells it to all the ladies.
Yeah, and then they think like, oh my
points.
god. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That party scene had some of the most funny dialogue in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, because you got Thor and Iron Man fighting over who has the best girlfriend.
Yeah.
Jane's going to win.
Yeah.
Jane's going to win a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Yes. As well, Pepper owns most of Stark Industries, which I gave to her. Then it just ends with Thor saying, "Jane is so much better."
Yeah, that's another thing that that Joss Whedon has definitely nailed is the humor. I think that while it's not always like a grand slam kind of punchline, I do feel like the humor is one of the stronger suits of the Avengers movies.
Indeed.
And he definitely keeps it up in this, and the jokes are pretty dang awesome. So.
All these jokes are like, everyone's at their best. Everyone has a funny line to say.
Oh, yeah. Everyone.
Hey, there's a reoccurring joke in the movie about it. This is in the first scene, too. Iron Man says a curse word, or damn, or fuck yeah, and Captain America's like, language. And that keeps running through the whole movie, yes. And it's still funny.
The whole movie.
It's funny. It's still funny. Like, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, and then once the party dies down, all the Avengers are just sitting together, and they're trying to see who can lift up Thor's hammer.
Oh my gosh, that scene was so funny.
That scene was so hilarious.
Funny. And that's another thing that this movie kind of plays with is who is worthy and who is not worthy.
We will talk about that. And it's going to be a big laugh. Okay.
Oh, man.
So, it seems like everyone's tried. Iron Man and War Machine try. Mm. They both fail.
They both try together at the same time.
At the same time, with their Iron Man hands on, they both fail.
You think Tony would be the least worthy person to lift that thing up? Why is he even trying?
That up.
Just ego.
Okay,
really.
We got... And Hawkeye tries. He doesn't do it. The only one that seems to be close to do it, and I respect this, is Captain America. And it cuts to Thor's face as he's watching the hammer. He sees a jiggle of it.
He just about craps his pants.
Yeah.
And then plays it cool like nothing happened. It was so funny.
Yeah.
That was great.
Oh, it's this. You're all not worthy.
Yeah.
And then you just hear the shuffling in the room. Like someone is shuffling into the room, and you see Ultron. And it's pretty scary.
Yeah. A little bit of backstory for that specific scene. Jarvis is left by himself in this big hologram in Tony's lab, and Bruce and Tony had basically created Ultron. And while they left it alone, Ultron basically killed Jarvis. And then while they were partying, Ultron built himself a body out of
Iron Man parts.
Mangled Iron Man. So, yeah, his body, his little puppet body comes kind of creeping in, and it's very, very
it's very creepy. And James Spader's, oh god, this movie is Spaderlicious.
Oh my gosh.
James Spader is amazing as Ultron.
He nails it.
He nails the part. Well, not technically, because he brings his own style to Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the comics, Ultron was very calculating. He was much like Brainiac from Superman the Animated Series. But in this one, he runs the gambit from extremely intimidating villain to a little bit of a whiny child. But what makes it intimidating and funny at the same time.
Yeah, it's great to see Ultron develop throughout the movie because while he is artificial intelligence gone wrong and haywire, he also has to deal with being sentient and being human to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And so, throughout the movie, it kind of shows him have like little fits of childishness kind of coming through his robotic, intimidating demeanor. And so it was really interesting seeing him kind of be like the man-child, but also the robot that's trying to annihilate all humans. So, yeah.
And he's the only one to make a Disney line scary.
Yeah.
That's another thing about the movie. When they first destroy Ultron, the first body, he's hacked himself onto the net so he can just go into another body whenever he wants to. And once he does that, all of them just start singing, I've got no strings to hold me down, to make me wimp or make me frown. I've got no strings and now I'm free. And then all of them just start saying, there are no strings on me. And when it cuts out to the building, it plays the actual Pinocchio song. Yeah. There are no strings on me. Oh, God. And then it just goes freaking batshit crazy from there. Like, okay, Ultron goes to recruit Scarlet Witch and Pietro, or Quicksilver, and he just straight up lies to them, saying that I'm going to destroy the Avengers and save the world.
Which is half of what he was made for.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ultron is designed to pretty much create peace. And he believes that the Avengers are a constant threat to peace. So he feels the best option is to get rid of them.
Yeah, and then it eventually evolves into, well, people are the problem. And so he thinks that he should destroy all the humans. It's pretty dang menacing.
Oh, yeah. And meanwhile, the Avengers are kind of getting mad at Tony, because rightfully so. He's the one that created Ultron. Well, Bruce and him did.
Yeah,
and
mainly.
They didn't tell them first, like, oh, we're going to do this. It's because Tony wanted to do his own thing and not tell anybody, which that's really freaking stupid.
Yeah, and that creates a lot of conflict between the Avengers because they're supposed to be a team, and here Tony is going behind their backs, kind of doing whatever he wants, and so it creates a lot of conflict.
Yeah, and now we've got some great Marvel knowledge in this, because they included a lot of canon into this Marvel movie. They included Wakanda, because they are going to make a Black Panther movie.
Yes.
They included Ulysses Claw, which is the archenemy of Black Panther. And on the ship, Ultron wants vibranium so he can create a body that's pretty much indestructible. So he goes to Claw with Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in hand. And Claw is like, I don't talk to anyone unless it's your boss. You can brainwash me all you want, but I want to see your boss and so we can talk business. I want to talk to the main man of this operation. And then Ultron comes in, smashing the glass and slamming him through a metal door. It's like, I'm not a man. Let's talk business.
Yeah, that was great.
So he gives him the vibranium, and this is the one time where Ultron pretty much shows his childish side, like saying that Ultron is Tony Stark, one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits, and he's like, I am not Iron Man. Do I look like Iron Man? Man, and then he's like, I am freaking not Iron Man. He cuts his arm off. He's like, oh, Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That will eventually heal, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it gets this whole entire action sequence on the ship, and Scarlet Witch shows her powers off and makes each Avenger experience their worst nightmare or worst fears come to life. Like, Black Widow is having fears from her past about the KGB and how she's being trained as an assassin. Thor is having a dream about Ragnarok, which, Thor Ragnarok, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Captain America, who I thought had the most interesting,
Yeah.
he dreams that the war is over and he still wants to keep fighting because he feels like that's the only purpose he has. Like, there's no peacetime or anything. He just wants to keep fighting a war. And that was the most interesting to me. And then they get to the Hulk, and you pretty much know what happens from there. Iron Man comes in with the Hulkbuster armor, and yeah, you take it from here, bro.
That was hands down my favorite scene of the entire movie. Like, you know, they advertised it on the previews and the trailers, and they showed a lot of the same shots, but I did not know that it would take place in Africa. And when Hulk started going on the rampage and Tony called out Veronica, which is the name of his mobile Hulkbuster container.
Not only that, I kind of got the joke to that because Bruce's love is Betty.
Yeah.
And then Veronica.
Yes.
Betty and Veronica.
Comics. Yep. And so that was great. And then, oh my gosh, that fight.
That was Man of Steel done right. Okay?
My jaw was on the floor for that entire fight scene. Like, it only got more awesome. And, you know, the Hulk, he's pretty OP. Like, it's hard to take down the Hulk. And I wanted to see Iron Man win, but I had this feeling like he wouldn't. And then he freaking pile drivered the Hulk through a skyscraper.
Through an empty skyscraper with it crumbling down.
Yeah.
And I was thinking in the theater, like, oh God, it's 9/11 all over again.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, man. But,
and then he pretty much wins by knocking him out.
He KOs the Hulk. That was crazy. Like,
all right.
I was so happy when Tony actually managed to best the Hulk.
A few people have defeated the Hulk, but only a few have said they did. So, okay. So now they're on the run because everyone thinks the Avengers are the bad guy now. Well, at least Hulk. And Hawkeye has the brilliant idea of taking them to his safe house. And yeah, it's pretty much a little house in a farm on the country. And we get to see Hawkeye's family. And Tony has the best, one of his best jokes in here is like, that obviously is an agent, his wife. And then Hawkeye's kids come out. He's got kids. And then he's like, oh, those are obviously little agents.
Little agents.
And apparently Natasha's their aunt, so okay.
Or maybe, oh yeah, that's right.
All right.
Well, aunt.
Aunt, yeah.
You know how family can be like that.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So pretty much it's all downtime. They all got their asses kicked. Okay, we should probably get to this part. There's a relationship between Black Widow and the Hulk. What did you think of it, bro?
Well, considering that Ruffalo has no Hulk movie to himself, and while he technically is playing off of the Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton version, in the more recent cinematic universe, hasn't been Betty. And so, for the sake of fulfilling the role of somebody who can calm him down, I think that it was a solid piece. It didn't really... It was kind of out of nowhere, that relationship. Like, in the movie, they were already a thing, more or less, but they didn't explain how they got to be that way. It was just kind of there, and like, you know, it for being somebody who can calm the Hulk down, that was really cool. I thought that was awesome that she was able to, you know, stand in front of this beast that could literally fold her in half. And she had enough, you know, cojones to do that. I thought that was really cool. But as far as the actual relationship goes, it didn't really make too much sense.
You know, I'm on the opposite side of that point. I think they're kind of good together. I mean, they have great chemistry together. They're not... I can see why people would, like, bitch about it. Like, oh, that didn't happen in the comics. This movie is a complete catastrophe. No, well, I can see why, because Black Widow has always hung out around soldiers, warriors, all these tough guys all her life. And then she meets someone like Bruce, who's this quiet, nice, nerdy guy, who's kind, he's compassionate, and whenever he has to, turns into a big green rage monster.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely see why she would like him. And the same goes for Banner. He's pretty much been relatively alone all his life, and then he meets this gorgeous woman who can calm him down whenever he wants to, even though that kind of doesn't make that much sense to me, because he said in the first Avengers movie he kind of got controlling the Hulk down.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't really explained with just one line. That's my secret. I'm always angry.
Yeah.
Still doesn't make sense.
He said... It's like he can control when he can become the Hulk, but he can't control when he comes out of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Necessarily. It's kind of funky.
Yeah.
I'm still upset that Ruffalo has not gotten his own Hulk movie.
Oh, they've hinted at that. We'll get to that soon. So, yeah. Few hours go by. Captain America and Iron Man are pretty much arguing, butting heads. And then Tony goes in the barn, and Nick Fury comes out. Okay, so he's back. He's telling everyone what's going on, what's the deal. And then they find Ultron again. Well, actually, there's this really good moment between Hawkeye and his wife, where Hawkeye doesn't feel like he's a really big part of the team with all these superheroes and Black Widow, who's the super spy. And he just feels like he's kind of left out and all that, but his wife tells him that these guys need you because you're like the conscience of the group, in a way. And yeah, I like that moment. It was a nice, sweet little moment between those two.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, not just that moment, but the entire fact that that they went to Hawkeye's home that was the safe house, and it, like, they could have made it where it was the safe house, and then they go in an elevator to the basement, and it's like a shield base underneath like an unassuming house. But no, like after the Avengers got their butts kicked, like, they had nowhere else to turn but their family, or at least, Hawkeye's family. And I thought it was just really powerful when they first walk in through the doors, and there's like gods and billionaires and just the craziest, like, super spies that you can imagine. They just come walking through the door, and imagine being Hawkeye's little girl looking up and just, seeing that, like,
seeing Thor. That was adorable.
Like, it really did a good job at humanizing them and also it humanized them by showing them that, you know, like Hawkeye has a family. He's a normal guy. He's, you know, besides being extremely skilled, he's a dad and he's a family guy. And
yeah, and this leads to one of the problems that many people have brought up, that this is a movie kind of entirely composed of action sequences. Like, there's only like 35 minutes of like straightforward dialogue between the characters, and the rest is kind of just action sequences. I can't help but kind of agree with that. I mean, action is phenomenal. We just said that. But I kind of want to see some dialogue between the characters. Like, in the first movie, they had plenty of dialogue. Sure, it was like all argumental dialogue, but it was still good dialogue. Now that these guys are a team, you can have them, like, show a little more human sides to them instead of just being the super soldier, the billionaire, and the god. And what did you think, Evan?
Well, the one thing that I missed from Avengers 1 was them being noobs. Like, you know, that sounds kind of dumb, but a lot of what I liked in the Avengers 1 and the chemistry from that was that they had to come together, and it was their origin story. I mean, they already had their own origin stories, but it was the Avengers origin story. And they were going through, kind of stumbling around and figuring out, you know, like, who's the alpha dog, and, you know, they had their own fights with each other. And I really liked that. But then in Avengers 2, like I said in the very beginning, the first action sequence is like they're already a well-oiled machine. They don't have anything that they really need to improve on. And that's kind of... I kind of missed them kind of stumbling around and having to find their way. I mean, I guess they had to a little bit in this one because they had to figure out how to get back up from being, you know, totally whooped. But I feel like I liked the first one in the aspect that they hadn't fully formed yet.
Yeah. All right, so then we cut back to Ultron, who meets this doctor from the Avengers Tower, who wants her to build him the new body, and he gets Loki's Mind Scepter back from Baron von Strucker's fortress because he had it, and he uses it to control her and force her to build him a new body. And the body is Vision. So, yeah, in the comics, Vision was just created by Ultron to be the perfect android.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, he's just Ultron's new body. Which, okay. And apparently, yes, the Mind Scepter had the Mind Gem, the Mind Infinity Gem in it. And he puts it inside Vision, which, that doesn't happen in the comics, but I'm not complaining, so... And then Scarlet Witch and I keep calling him Pietro. Quicksilver, they find out that Ultron's been bullshitting him this whole time. And then he just straight up kills the doctor. And then they get away.
No, she survives.
Oh, yeah, she survives. But then Pietro and Scarlet Witch get away. Mm. And Ultron is pretty much on the run. Captain America and him have a pretty cool fight sequence on the top of a truck.
Solid. He was taking him solo. That was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because he's Captain America.
Yeah.
He could do it. So,
yeah.
So yeah. Then he kidnaps Black Widow. They get the body back. And then Hawkeye sends it to Tony and Bruce, who are back at Avengers Tower, and they get this crazy idea of, hey, Jarvis actually survived. Why don't we just put him inside of this body? And Pietro and Scarlet Witch catch up to Captain America. They actually helped out with the whole truck sequence. And they pretty much tell him this. And then they pretty much just get into Avengers Tower, and then they're all bitching at each other about, this is wrong, this is right, this is the right move. 2-minute action sequence, and then Vision is born.
Mm-hmm.
With Thor's help.
Yeah. I really, really liked the way that they did Vision, because, it was going to be a way for Ultron to be further unstoppable, and he ended up being the antithesis of Ultron, and the actual vessel for Jarvis, even though technically they're still separate. And I thought it was really cool, the way that they put Vision together, and with the Infinity Stone, that was cool. I thought that was an awesome addition to his his
already impressive power set.
Yeah, and one thing that was kind of minor, but I thought it was totally awesome. I loved how he grew his costume.
Yeah, he pretty much made his own costume out of liquid metal that he formed onto himself.
In the comics, it looks like he's just wearing a green and yellow kind of spandex suit, but in the movie, he's born basically a naked android, and he just makes his own suit, grows a cape, and I thought that was just rad. I thought that was really cool.
And the Avengers don't trust him because they think he is Ultron's technical creation, and they don't trust him for that. But one scene changes that. Vision is talking to the Avengers if I am Ultron's creation, you have the right to destroy me, but we need to stop Ultron because he's going to wipe out all of humanity. Mm-hmm. Well, there's no time to waste. And then you see an image of him holding Thor's hammer. And that's all you need to know to trust him. Yeah. He is worthy.
He picks up nonchalant, he doesn't know any of the connotation of the hammer. And he just, here's your hammer. And go. Thor's what just happened? He pooped a golden egg when that happened, and everybody did. They were
everyone in the theater just gasped. Okay,
that was hands down the coolest part.
Yeah, Thor is okay.
Yeah, he was taken aback a little bit,
and then they're all suiting up. When they're all suiting up, I see Thor and Vision standing outside with their capes flowing in the wind, and I'm like, it's the battle of the capes. Okay. And then it gets to the last action sequence in the movie, which it's spectacular. And Josh knows how to write a good action sequence and a good climax. But Evans had this problem of, is it going to be the same one again where it's a giant army and you got to stop them and all blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Basically, when I saw the trailer for Age of Ultron, I was kind of mad that it was centered around another big bad villain making another big bad army. That kind of bugged the crap out of me because I was like, really? If you think about it, it'd be pretty hard to take over the world by yourself. You need some evil minions, but yeah. I don't know. I just thought that they didn't really need to go that way. But in the movie, I ended up not even caring because it was just so awesome. So I kind of just pushed past it. But
Yeah, and yeah, they're pretty much doing the same thing as they did in the first movie. They're evacuating this city, of this small little city, and Ultron, he's raising this entire city up to like a certain atmosphere in the sky, and once it gets to that atmosphere, it's going to jet back down with jet turbines and some kind of like nuclear power thing. I'm not entirely sure.
oh, well, basically what he was doing was throughout the movie he was really fascinated with religion and God and creation, and he mentioned, that the humans needed to evolve, and that they were weak and they needed to be destroyed so that they could rise up and be higher. And so his plan was to basically recreate what happened with the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And so he was going to turn the city
Into a giant asteroid.
into a meteor that would annihilate human life and recreate
Oh,
humanity.
okay, yeah.
And so when the city was raising up on the jet turbines, they would cut out, and then the city would plummet back to Earth and destroy humanity. So that was what it was.
All right, okay. So, yeah, like I said, first movie plot, everyone's working together, getting the people out of there. And okay, this is what they did right in this movie instead of Man of Steel. They specified in this movie people died. There were casualties. But they were the Avengers, all of them. They were trying to prevent that shit. They were working together to prevent as less deaths as possible. And Man of Steel, that will be a review for another day. So, so it gets to Pietro and Scarlet Witch are pretty much all together on the Avengers plan. So they need to evacuate the city. And a funny moment with Pietro is he gets into this police station, and he says, "Oh, we gotta get out of here. You guys gotta go. Oh, we gotta evacuate the city now." And then they're like, and then he comes back with an AK-47 and just starts shooting the place off. And then they start listening to him. So, yeah, it gets higher and higher in the sky. There's a whole lot of action sequences happening. The best one being that when it gets to the end, all the Avengers are assembled in this big, giant circle protecting this key that if it's turned, then the whole entire city will plummet. And yeah, so it's like a big ass action sequence. They're in a circle. They're fighting all these robots. It's freaking amazing, all in slow motion. And there was this one really great scene where Ultron was getting annoyed by Thor. That's what he said. So he pretty much said, "As long as I have breath in my breast, I am running out of things to say. Hurry up!" Vision comes in with Thor's hammer and knocks him away. And he's like, "It's a very, very disproportionate instrument you have. Well, you gotta use your backswing on it to get a little more momentum." Okay. So, yeah, everyone's saving the city. Scarlet Witch is kind of panicking because she doesn't know if she can do this, and Hawkeye, I think, gives the funniest line in the movie, in my opinion. When he's talking to Scarlet Witch, he's like, "Okay, not a lot of things shouldn't be happening right now. There is a city in the sky. I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense."
Yeah.
And when you can stay in here, I can get your brother to come get you. But once you walk out that door, you're an Avenger. Start acting like one.
That was a really solid moment.
That was.
And, she went out there, started kicking some serious butt. I thought that was so cool. And then one thing that I thought was really, really cool and really, really touching. At a certain point, Scarlet Witch gets knocked to the ground, and I think it was like right as the city was going to get decimated, and Vision comes in. He flies in, scoops her up, and like there's like this brief moment where like they make eye contact and they're just like staring at each other, and then he flies away and he saves her. And I thought that was so cool because in the comics they get married. Like,
yeah, they do.
Like they're a thing in the comics, and so like seeing him kind of come and scoop her up and like save her, I thought that was a total like Superman Lois Lane kind of moment. Like that is like knight in shining armor swooping in to save you.
There you go.
That's
how that shit is done.
Yeah.
God.
And so I thought like it was really minor, and I don't know. I just really, really liked that. Like he just flew in, swooped in, saved her, and they like made really brief eye contact. And I don't know. I thought it was really special.
Not only that, okay. Okay, before that scene happens, Hawkeye sees a family in distress. They say they're missing their son. That's just like a few feet away from him. Hawkeye goes in to get the kid, and okay, when I saw Hawkeye's family, I was like thinking to myself, okay, when are they gonna kill him off? Because when you see that in a movie, you kind of assume that's gonna happen, but there are these machine guns that are barreling towards him. He's trying to defend the kid by using himself as a shield, but then Pietro comes in and gets him out of the way, and you're like thinking, oh, okay, everyone's fine. Okay, Pietro's got to... Oh, they show Pietro riddled with 100 bullet holes in him.
Yeah, Quicksilver, he got pwned.
Yeah, but he does deliver a badass line before he dies. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Yeah, there's definitely a bummer.
And that's when Scarlet Witch pretty much freaks the shit out and pretty much destroys every android by screaming in pain and agony because her brother died.
That was really, really rough. And I feel like they didn't give Quicksilver very much development. You know, they gave the twins backstory and the destruction of their town and the loss of their parents.
Well, it was all fairly rushed.
Yeah, and besides that, Quicksilver didn't have too much character development. And then he died. So that was kind of weak, but I think that Scarlet Witch, I think she's a lot more interesting, and I don't know. I don't mind that Quicksilver died, is probably what I'm trying to say.
A few people didn't mind that Quicksilver died, and I was like, you know what, he was a cool character. Mm-hmm. If I ever wear a hat, I'll put my hat down whenever I see him die for like a minute.
Moment of silence for Quicksilver.
Okay, we're good.
Solid.
Okay, so it gets to the end. They pretty much rebuild an Avengers base that's in upstate New York. And they're Iron Man and... Well, actually, before that scene, Ultron is in his last body. It's all wrecked up. It's all crappy. Then Vision comes in, and they have a great little talk.
Well, even before that, you didn't even talk about Ultron getting pwned the first time.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, Ultron gets pwned like several times in the movie. And Vision combined with Thor and Iron Man, blasted the living crap out of Ultron's body.
Mm-hmm.
And he pretty much fucked. Yeah, he died. Well, almost did. The Hulk, he was trying to get away in a jet, but the Hulk stopped him, and he's like, oh, for God's sake!
Well, and even beyond that, the final nail in the coffin, Scarlet Witch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised that you didn't bring that up.
Oh, I forgot to bring that up. Scarlet Witch finds Ultron, and she's like, do you know what it's like to die? Do you know what it feels like? Uses her telekinetic powers to, Mortal Kombat style, rip his heart out.
Yeah.
Well, mechanical heart.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
Game over. Ultron was...
fatality.
Well, his biggest body was toast.
Yeah.
Which leads to the final death of Ultron, which is Ultron versus Vision.
Well, not really versus. They don't really fight or anything.
Yeah.
They just have a little talk. Like, Vision brings up that Ultron is afraid of death, and Ultron and him are going back and forth about ethics. And Vision kind of agrees with some of the things that Ultron is saying, but he kind of has hope for humanity in a way that they can learn. And it ends with Ultron saying, God, you are so irritatingly naive. And then Vision says, well, I was just born yesterday.
And then he
unibeams. He uses the mind gem to blast him.
Yeah.
Okay, so it pretty much ends with the movie with New Avengers base in upstate New York, and Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America are all they're walking together side by side. They're all talking about... Well, Thor is actually saying, let Vision keep the mind gem because it's safe with him. And Tony and Captain America are just going, so it doesn't count that he lifted the hammer. So if your hammer goes in an elevator, does that mean it lifts it up? The elevator is worthy.
Yeah.
Really, they're still talking about that, and hilarious. And it hinted that Tony is kind of retiring, maybe. Well, we all know that's not going to happen. He's going to be in Civil War. So then it ends with him, Captain America, and Black Widow. They start talking. They go into this room, and then they see Rhodes, Falcon, Scarlet Witch and Vision all together, and the last line of the movie is Avengers. Credits.
Yep.
We thought we were gonna get Avengers symbol finally. Nope, can't do that.
Teasing us.
Okay, and then we get a secret ending, which they show the Infinity Gauntlet, finally, and then they show Thanos saying, "Fine, I'll do it myself."
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
Avengers Infinity War.
That was freaking nuts.
It's coming. And if you go see this movie, don't stay after the end credits. There is no secret ending, surprisingly, at the end credits.
Well, it's a mid-credit.
Yeah, it's a mid-credit
probably a couple
ending.
minutes of credits, Thanos, all the credits, nothing. So, yeah, once you see Thanos, you can just, get the hell out of there.
Yep. We got... How many trailers did you get, Evan?
Before the movie?
Oh, yeah, before the movie.
Crap, I don't know. We had...
I can remember like 3 or 4 of them.
We had Spectre, 007 Spectre.
Oh, man.
That was awesome. What else did we have?
I got one for this movie called Dope.
Dope?
Yeah, it's this generic movie about this African American kid. He's in the ghetto. He wants to go to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
But people say, like, you're from the ghetto. You think you really want to go to Harvard? Oh, sorry. You think you're really going to go to Harvard? And, yeah, it's just one of those generic movies. Like, nah. I got one for Ant-Man.
We did not get one for Ant-Man.
You did not get one for Ant-Man.
No, I was actually surprised.
I'm actually sold on this trailer for Ant-Man.
With Yellow Jacket?
Well, they showed Yellow Jacket. They showed a lot of, it was a longer trailer than the preview 50-second trailer you see on YouTube and stuff. And yeah, I'm sold on it. I'm giving it a chance. I like where it's going. Mm-hmm. So
we did not get Ant-Man. We got Fantastic Four, which I don't really care about at all. It's still not the MCU, so there's really not much of a reason for me to watch it.
But we're probably going to go see it anyway, since, one, it's a superhero film. Two, the guys who did X-Men Days of Future Past are on this project, so I have faith in it. And three, nope, that's all I need. So.
We did get a trailer for Jurassic World.
How does that look?
Which they showed a lot in this trailer, but I think it looks awesome. I'm surprised it's coming out so soon. It's coming out in a month and a half.
We got a month till Jurassic World. Don't worry, we'll be back for that review. So, and I got one for Terminator Genesis, which, you know what, I'm gonna see it. I like Terminator. Arnold's back, so it might be awesome. We got a lot in that trailer, though. It showed
too much, dude. That's the whole freaking movie.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie. It's like John Connor is the Terminator now. In this time, what? Oh,
yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but
I don't want to see that at all.
I'm gonna see it anyway. So, okay. Final thoughts. Age of Ultron.
All right. Favorite parts? Hulk versus Iron Man, for sure. Scarlet Witch and Vision's tender moment / Vision and Thor's hammer.
The party.
Probably Hawkeye and his family. So those were my 3 favorite parts. I wish that this movie kind of had a little bit of exposition in the beginning rather than just rushing into the action, but we don't really need too much backstory on that, I guess, because they've been the Avengers for a few years now. So yeah, solid action. They did a good job at making him seem human. Ultron was totally amazing, and setting it up for Thanos. Definitely awesome. So
my final thoughts. What more do we have to say? We've said everything about this movie. If you're not even if you haven't seen any of the movies building up to this movie, give me your addresses and I will assassinate you, or I will tie you up and force you to watch all those movies. But if you have, then why are you watching this review? Go see it immediately. It's worth the whole entire ticket price. We're probably gonna go see this movie 2-3 more times.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I saw it IMAX 3D. I'm gonna see it again tomorrow, and just regular, maybe 3D, but yeah, go see it. It's fantastic.
It's worth every penny. We'll probably be back for Jurassic World when it comes out. So
yeah, that's gonna be nuts.
So. See you later. And we will do it in the daytime. I promise. This is a one-time thing.
Until next time.